Hi, Nino. Good to see you. How are you?
Hello, Rob. Nice to see you.
Good man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I ask you first about Raul? I'm sorry. I hope we don't think that we're asking every time for a medical update, but clearly, there's a lot of concern for him, and we hope he's making a good recovery. It was good to see him back at the training ground. Can you tell us how he is?
He's improving. He's improving. He was here today again in Compton. He had breakfast with us. Then he had a good walk around the pitch. So he's progressing. Thank God he's doing well.
And there was some talk that he might be at the game tomorrow night against Chelsea. Is that right? Might he be there to watch?
I cannot answer that. He's free to go if he wants to, but it's always a medical decision, and the people that are on a daily basis with him and going along with his treatment. So, but he's free to go.
Good. That's good news.
Yeah.
Fabio Silva made his first Premier League start. He very nearly scored his first Premier League goal as well, but for the post. And then there was that brilliant Panenka to set up Dendoncker as well. He looks as though he's really confident, he's really able, but it's a big ask, isn't it, of an 18-year-old to come straight in. Do you think he's ready to play lots of games in a short space of time, if needed?
Yes, I think that's the best way when you want to progress a player and keep improving a player and building. When he has minutes on the competition, it's good for him. It's useful. And like you said, I think he did a good game. He worked well. And he's knowing his teammates better. Teammates are recognizing his qualities. And it's up to us to decide, but it's always about helping the player. Not. I think with his age, the last thing that he can think about is the goal, the score. Not be obsessed about that. Stick to your tasks. Progress in the game, linking, doing defensive tasks, and then the final touch will be there, and something that we have to improve and work on. But I'm happy with him.
The January transfer window is almost upon us, and I appreciate you don't like talking about it too much. But is more cover in the striker position something you're thinking about with Raul missing?
Like you said, it's almost coming, so we are almost thinking about that.
But not yet.
Not yet.
I wanted to ask you about Moutinho's red card. This is another one where I might be going down a blind alley because I know you never criticise referees, but you're going to be without João Moutinho now for this game because of the two yellow cards, and that's costly, isn't it? Especially when a lot of people felt that the second yellow card in particular was very harsh.
Yeah, it was harsh. It was harsh. But the decision is made. No point on talking about that no more. João is not going to be with us, so another player must come in. But I agree with you. I saw it, the images after, and it was a harsh decision on him.
A lot of people felt you should have at least got a point out of the game against Villa, but that is one win in the last 5 matches now, which is a bit of a blip. Is it a concern for you?
I think we improve on our performance. I know that in the end of the day, all that matters is the result. I think we did a very good game against Villa. We were a good team. We were organized. We create a lot of chances. And I keep maybe the wrong way regarding everybody else, but what is really, really important for me is the performance, the way we play the game, and we improve a lot on our game.
No, it'd be very understandable if this was the case, but do you think what's happened to Raul has upset the squad and disrupted things?
It's always a big disruption when you lose a player. Especially Raul, and especially under the circumstances that the situation happened, was a traumatic moment for everybody. But we have to overcome that, and this is the way we work. Raul is going to be okay. He's going to be back to what he was, to the same player and the person that he was. This is more important. And now we have to work together to keep improving and competing. But it was a traumatic situation. But with time, I think I'm positive that even you, step by step, will stop asking too many questions and things will get back to normal. But no doubt about it that traumatic situation and a loss of a big player for us.
Thank you for doing that. I'll try not to ask again. I do appreciate. No, I do understand it's sensitive. Listen, let me ask you about Chelsea. They lost to Everton at the weekend, but what have you made of them this season? They are challenging right at the very top of the Premier League.
A very good team. Very good team. Talent squads. A lot of good players. Many good players that they already had. Chelsea brought. Frank is doing a good job. So tough match tomorrow. Tough.
Is there a stronger squad in the Premier League right now than Chelsea after they spent all that money?
All the squads in the Premier League are strong. Honestly, that's my opinion. I think it's the best competition involving the best players, the best squads. Honestly, I truly believe in the Premier League. There's no squad that you can underestimate.
Last one from me. How are your team looking? Is anybody struggling with injury? Obviously, Moutinho's suspended, but what about everybody else?
Issues normally, especially with only a couple of days between matches. It's hard, but prepare the game, all about recovering, and tomorrow we go and we compete. But small issues with us, yeah.
And I presume you don't want to name any names, which is why you've told me like that.
Yeah, you presume well. I'm sorry for my answer, but it's always important to try and keep things between us.
Understood. I wish you the best of luck. Thanks, Nuno.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Nice to you.
Hi, Nuno. Are you okay?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I want to just elaborate on one thing there. It's a busy period, Nuno, for every team. Is it really hard managing the players' schedule with little recovery time in between games?
Yeah, it's very hard and it's very demanding, at the same time challenging. But something that we did many times during, especially the last season. Only a couple of days between matches, but it's hard. It's hard to do a proper recovery at the same way prepare the game like you usually do on the training ground. You cannot put the intensity on the actions that you want. So it's all about trying to recover. Then good meeting, using images. Try to use all the resources that you can to give info to the players.
And despite the circumstances surrounding this year, would you have liked the Premier League to even try and squeeze in a winter break for this campaign?
This campaign was impossible. With the winter break, then we'll be saying that after the schedule will be more squeeze, less time. So after the pandemic, the schedule had a lot of mistakes, but will be a huge mistake to introduce again the winter break.
But it's tough, isn't it? It's tough for you and all the Premier League managers in this period because, you know, your squad's being tested, isn't it?
Yeah. We knew that this is eventually going to happen. Very demanding on all the squads. Short preseason, a lot of international breaks. Now the month of December it's crazy for everybody. So very demanding on the squads and managers of the Premier League.
Just want to elaborate on one thing Rob said. I thought Fabio, forget about not scoring the goal. He was fabulous in that game against Villa. And if he carries on like that, you've got some player on your hands, haven't you?
We already got a good player in our hands. Very young boy, but full of talent. We will improve them for sure.
Brilliant. That's all from me, Nuno. Thank you and best of luck.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Hello, Nuno.
Hello.
Just on the subject of talking about working with young players, we've seen the progression that Pedro Neto's made over the last year, and you've discussed Fabio Silva. Is that one of the most enjoyable parts of your job, working with a young talent and seeing their progression?
I enjoy my work a lot. If you ask me, this also is part of the job. But I really enjoy to be on the training ground, and I think it's a job of every manager, every technical staff to improve players, to build players, so they can become better. And I enjoy, but it's both ways. The credit must go to the player. He must be ready to believe. He must be ready to wait for the right moments. He must be ready when the moment doesn't come to engage again on a training session and go over and over again, because there's this only way: hard work, and a lot of details that we try to bring to make a player better. But we are a young squad. We've been a young squad for a while now, and it's all about that: progressing the players, improving them, so they can become useful and better and make the team better. My job is to build complicities. It's not about one player by himself. It's about 1+1, 2. It's not about having the best players. It's about having the best attack, the best midfield, the best shape in defense. It's all about that.
And in terms of that progression, does that require patience, not just from yourself and your staff, but the fans as well?
In football is in building and improving. Time is an ally for you, but the patience doesn't exist too much. So we are aware of that. But by my own idea, pressure and rushing things only can disturb you. So keep your calm, keep believing, keep working on a daily basis, and try to get away from all the outside expectations. Focus on yourself.
Yeah, because we do live in a world that wants instant success and instant gratification, but you've always talked about taking it game by game. How important is it for you to stick to that philosophy and, as you say, ignore everything going on outside?
For me, it's easy. For me, it's very easy.
In what way?
Because I only focus on I have to focus. I only focus on what I can control. I don't.
Just finally, then, in terms of what you can control. The next game against Chelsea, they did win convincingly last season, but they are a very different squad, as you've touched on. Did you learn lessons from that defeat last season? As I say, they are a different squad, but were there lessons that you learned last season, the challenges?
Yes, of course. It was a tough game for us. I think we didn't play well. I recall that Chelsea played a good game, created a lot of problems for us, and it was a heavy result, as I recall. But the reference, not too many situations last season, but what Chelsea is now. How did they perform last week and the previous game? This is the games that we analyze carefully, because it's about the momentum and the teams are.
Thank you, Nuno.
Thank you, Steve.
Simon, did you want to ask in the immediate release section or in the embargo?
Can I just ask one now? Nuno, sorry, you said, answering the winter break question, you felt a lot of mistakes had been made with the calendar. What mistakes do you think have been made?
Friendly games. After 1 week of work, if you remember, after the first game of the competition, immediately there was an international break that the players were involved in friendly games, 2 friendly games, not official games. The moment that the teams most need the time to play, to work with the players, the national teams took them away. We had 1 more international break that usually happens. So this is the mistakes that I mentioned.
Do you think the players won't be able to pick up on that? Because if you look at the schedule now, you've got midweek game, then there'll be another midweek game over Christmas, then another one in January, another one at the end of January or the beginning of February. So there's no chance for players to get any rest now.
No, not at all. And I'm speaking about Wolves, and there are teams that are involved in international competition, European competitions, that the schedule has been really, really demanding on them. They don't have a full cycle of a week, always midweek games. It becomes hard.
Thank you.
But this is due to the pandemic. We are all aware of that. The condensation of the schedule has to do with the pandemic. I hope next season they can improve on that.
Okay, great. Let's finish the broadcast section there then. Yeah, please. And then this is for 10.